dive right into the heart of today's topic. What is scientific thinking? At its core, scientific thinking is a systematic approach to understanding phenomena and solving problems. It's a method that starts with making observations, examining the world around us in a detailed and careful way. From these observations, we form hypotheses, educated guesses that explain what we've observed. But we don't stop there. We then put these hypotheses to the test through experiments, challenging and refining our initial ideas. Once we've gathered our results, we analyze them, looking for patterns and relationships, always guided by evidence and logic. Because that's the thing about scientific thinking. It's not based on personal beliefs or opinions. It's driven by facts and data, by the tangible and measurable. So you see, scientific thinking is more than a mere thought process. It's a disciplined, rigorous approach to problem solving and understanding the world around us. How does scientific thinking differ from other types of thinking? This question leads us to an intriguing exploration of the mind and the various ways it processes information. Let's consider critical thinking first. Critical thinking is the art of analyzing and evaluating with an objective mind. It's about dissecting arguments, recognizing biases, and making well-informed decisions. While scientific thinking shares these traits, it adds an extra layer. A systematic, evidence-based approach that relentlessly seeks truth and rejects assumptions. Next, creative thinking. This form of thought is all about innovation, generating fresh ideas, and seeing the world from a new perspective. It's the driving force behind art, literature, and groundbreaking inventions. But here's where scientific thinking diverges. While it values innovation, it insists that new ideas must be tested and validated, not taken at face value. Then there's emotional thinking. This type of thinking is guided by feelings, intuition, and personal biases. It's the kind of thinking that helps us relate to others, understand our feelings, and make decisions based on our gut reactions. Scientific thinking, however, sets emotions aside. It demands that we put our feelings on hold and look at the evidence objectively. What sets scientific thinking apart from these other types of thinking is its commitment to a systematic, evidence-based approach. It's not about being right or proving a point, but about being open to being wrong. It's about learning, evolving, and seeking the truth, no matter where it leads or how uncomfortable it might be. Scientific thinking doesn't dismiss other forms of thought, rather, it enhances them. It takes the analysis of critical thinking, the innovation of creative thinking, and even the intuition of emotional thinking, and channels them through a rigorous, evidence-based framework. Scientific thinking, then, is unique in its approach and its ultimate goal: understanding reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's this relentless pursuit of truth, this commitment to learning and growing, that makes scientific thinking such an invaluable tool for all of us. Why should you care about scientific thinking? How can it benefit your daily life? Now let's dive into the real-world implications of scientific thinking. It's easy to think that this concept is solely for lab coats and research papers. That's a misconception. Scientific thinking is not just for scientists, it's for business leaders, it's for policymakers, it's for educators, it's for you, me, and everyone in between. Imagine your daily life as a constant experiment, full of variables and outcomes. Every decision we make, every problem we face, can be approached with the principles of scientific thinking. Firstly, let's talk about decision-making. We often base our decisions on assumptions, emotions, or previous experiences. However, scientific thinking encourages us to base our decisions on evidence and data, making them more reliable and less prone to bias. It's like having a compass in a sea of information guiding us towards more informed choices. Next, problem solving. Life throws curveballs at us, doesn't it? From a sudden car breakdown to a challenging business decision, problems are inevitable. Here's where scientific thinking shines. It encourages us to identify problems, create hypotheses, test them, and adjust our approach based on the results. It's a systematic way to tackle issues, making the process less daunting and more effective. Lastly, understanding complex issues. The world is complicated, and so are its issues. Whether it's climate change, economic inequality, or artificial intelligence, these matters are multifaceted and often confusing. But don't fret. Scientific thinking can help us dissect these issues, understand their underlying causes, and evaluate potential solutions. In essence, scientific thinking is about curiosity, critical thinking, and continuous learning. It's about asking questions, seeking evidence, and being open to new information. It's about not just accepting things as they are, but challenging them and striving for a better understanding. Scientific thinking, therefore, is not just a tool for scientists, but a valuable life skill for all. How can you apply scientific thinking in your everyday life? It's simpler than you might think. Imagine you're deciding on a new fitness routine. Rather than blindly following the latest trends, apply scientific thinking. Start by questioning your assumptions. Do you think that running every day will make you healthier? Why? Is it because everyone says so, or because you've seen the results? Next, collect evidence. This might involve reading studies on the effectiveness of different exercises, talking to fitness experts, or even trying out different workouts yourself to see how your body responds. Be a keen observer. Notice how your body feels, your energy levels, and any other changes. Now analyze the data. If you've tried a few different workouts and found that one leaves you feeling more energized than the others, that's a piece of evidence. If you've read studies showing that variety in exercise routines can lead to better overall health, that's another piece of evidence. Finally, be open to changing your mind based on new information. If you initially thought running every day was the best way to stay fit, but your research suggests otherwise, be willing to adjust your approach. This same process can be applied to solving a problem at work, understanding a complex issue in the news, or making decisions about your personal finances. When facing a challenging work situation, for example, don't just settle for the first solution that comes to mind. Question your assumptions, gather and analyze data, and be willing to revise your approach based on what you learn. Scientific thinking isn't just about conducting experiments in a lab. It's a mindset that involves questioning, investigating, and learning. You can apply it in any situation where you need to make a decision, solve a problem, or understand something complex. The beauty of scientific thinking is that it empowers you to be your own detective, to question, to investigate, and to learn. Embrace the power of scientific thinking, make it a habit, a way of life. So how do we cultivate this powerful tool? First and foremost, practice curiosity. Always question the world around you. Why is this working this way? What would happen if we did it differently? These questions are the seeds of scientific thinking, and the more you ask, the more these seeds will grow. Next, seek evidence. When presented with a claim or a theory, don't just accept it at face value. Dig deeper. Look for the facts, the data, the proof. This may seem like a daunting task, but it's actually quite simple. It's about asking the right questions and not stopping until you've found the answers. And then, embrace uncertainty. This might sound contradictory, but it's actually a fundamental aspect of scientific thinking. You see, science isn't about having all the answers. It's about accepting that we may never have all the answers. It's about understanding that our knowledge is always evolving, always changing. It's about being comfortable with not knowing and yet never stopping in the pursuit of knowledge. Moreover, scientific thinking isn't confined to the laboratory or the boardroom. It's a mindset that can be applied to every aspect of our lives. Whether it's making a decision about a personal matter or solving a complex business problem, scientific thinking can guide us, providing us with a structured, logical, and rational approach. Finally, remember that scientific thinking is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. So start small. Start with the everyday things. Question your assumptions. Test your theories. Seek evidence. Embrace uncertainty. And slowly, you'll see a transformation. You'll see that you're thinking more clearly, making better decisions, and understanding the world in a whole new way. So go forth, think scientifically, and discover the wonders it can bring to your life. In conclusion, scientific thinking is a powerful tool for understanding and navigating the world. We've journeyed through its essence, contrasting it with other forms of reasoning. We've seen how it's not just confined to the realms of academia, but seeps into our daily lives, helping us make better decisions and solve problems more effectively. Moreover, we've explored practical ways to incorporate scientific thinking into everyday situations. It's about asking questions, seeking evidence, and continuously learning and improving. It's about being open to new ideas, yet critical enough to challenge them. We've also discussed how to foster this mindset, whether it's in ourselves, our teams, or our children. It's about fostering curiosity, promoting skepticism, and encouraging a relentless pursuit of truth. So, as we end this journey, I urge you to embrace scientific thinking. Remember, scientific thinking is not just about facts and figures. It's about curiosity, skepticism, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Embrace it, and see the difference it makes in your life.